We'll be heading down to our mats now, coming to a comfortable lying down position. You letting the mat come to support the spine and the back of the head and the shoulders. Bringing the knees to a tented knee posture. First here as an option, especially for those with low back issues. You can stay here. If it's available to you, you can let your knees fall open to the side, taking the soles of the feet together for Supta Baddha Konasana. As we come to bring ourselves into the awareness of our breath, into the intention of our practice, settling into the stillness of the pose. Drawing a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, open mouth sigh. In through the nose. Exhale, blow some air through the cheeks. Letting go of the jaw, any energy around the cheeks or the eyes. And then moving to a nice full inhalation through the nose. Slow, smooth exhale out the nose. Letting your awareness just connect to the inhaling, moving in through the torso, and the exhaling, sending gentleness around the entire nervous system, connecting to your neural shortcut to calm, bringing in awareness of the intention of self-gentleness for this practice today. Acknowledging your own worthiness of love, worthiness of the tenderness you can provide for yourself on the mat today. Filling the torso with your inhales as you lengthen the spine, maybe feeling a little breath and space between each vertebrae. And exhale, softly surrendering your shoulders, your ears, your hips, your knees, and your toes. Continuing this gentle breath in and out. Defining for yourself what is a gentle practice. Gentleness, as defined, is showing a mild, kind, or tender temperament, such as a mother shows a child, or a pet owner shares with their beloved pet, or someone with a green thumb can care for the earth and all the plants in and around their home. In this way, we can also care for ourselves in this time. And as you start to move through the practice and are guided by postures and breath, remind yourself to allow for the same tenderness you would allow for others, the same gentleness you would show for someone else, and give that tenderness to yourself as you move through the poses, listening to your body, modifying any of the postures that you need to. And then as you exhale, start to draw both knees in for an embracing hug, wrapping your hands around the tops of the knees. Starting to draw circles clockwise for a little loving massage for the low back. Warming up here. Keeping our awareness to our breath in and out. And then slowly switching directions. Moving the knees counterclockwise. And then drawing both knees to neutral. Go ahead and hug just the right knee and extend the left knee long towards the front edge of our mat, feeling the length and space in that left leg as you pull it away from your hip. Exhale to hug the right knee gently more in towards the rib cage. Taking a nice full expansive breath in, feel the belly press against the thigh and the thigh press against the belly on your exhale, giving your digestive tissue a gentle massage here. And as you continue to breathe and letting the pose do the work, go ahead and warm up through the backs of the head and the neck, drawing your gaze over your right shoulder, and then through neutral and over the left shoulder. A couple times each side, waking up through the neck, massaging the back of the head and the sides of the head. And we'll come to neutral, starting to circle the right toe wide in a clockwise direction, really warming up through the ankle, drawing as big of a circle as you can in this direction. Again, connecting to your inhale and your exhale. And then alternating that circular motion in the opposite direction. And then coming into stillness here, wrapping the left palm around the outer edge of the right knee, and then pulling the thigh over the midline. Extend your right palm out to the side like a T-stance, coming into a gentle supine twist. Maybe you'll keep your hand here on the thigh as a gentle leverage for pulling towards gravity, or maybe you'll extend it all the way out to the side in a T-stance as well, just letting gravity do the work here. As your knee draws on down towards earth, as you fill the torso with breath. As you exhale and surrender both shoulders onto the mat, softening into the posture, letting the pose do the work for you. Loving breath in. Loving breath out. We'll take our gaze and our knees back through neutral and hug the left knee in to meet the right. And then wrapping and bracing our arms around the left knee, go ahead and extend the right toe long to the front edge of your mat in front of you. And again, take a full breath in, fill the entire right side of the body with breath, feeling the length through the right leg. Exhale, tucking that left thigh a little more fully towards your torso. Never bending your knee beyond its capability, but breathing into this little leverage here, belly to thigh, thigh to belly. Gentle organ massage as you continue to breathe here. Settling your shoulders on down to the mat. Maybe you can draw your gaze over each shoulder. Again, massaging through the backs and the sides of the head as you press it onto the mat. Warming up through the neck, moving at your own pace here. And then coming through neutral, bringing the gaze to sky. We'll start to rotate that left toe around in a big circular motion. And then reversing that curl with the toe, moving it in the opposite direction, making the ankle wide, circular motion to warm up through the toes and the ankle. Taking a nice full breath in as you let the energy drop out from the toes. On your exhale, sweep your left knee over the midline, letting your right palm come to embrace it, to move it gently over toward the side, letting your left arm come out towards a T stance. Maybe you stay here, allowing for a little gravitational pull here with the palm on the thigh, or maybe you let the right palm fall open into a T stance, whichever is more comfortable for you in this moment. Gazing over the opposite thumb, finding this nice natural twist. Breathing in and out on each exhale, settling a little bit more fully into the ease of the posture. The opportunity to just breathe, letting the pose do all the work. If your mind begins to wander, you can bring it back into that intention of deserving these moments, being worthy of this love and tenderness that you're offering yourself. And from here, we'll draw the knees back through neutral. Wrap our hands underneath the calves, behind the thighs, tucking both knees to chest, taking the gaze to the navel, maybe rocking this gently forward and back for a massage for the spine. Of course, if at any point in time this doesn't feel good for you, please just meet us up in a seated position. But as we exhale, we roll up to the top and soften that spine down, just letting momentum here work the muscles along the spine. And then when we're ready, we'll flow all the way on up to find seated posture, and then shifting ourselves into tabletop. Any way you want to get there today. We'll stack shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, spreading the fingertips nice and wide, finding engagement with all 10 finger pads here to take a little pressure off of the wrists. And just settling into the tabletop. Draw the navel up and in as you pull the tailbone a little bit further away from the rib cage, filling the crown. Pull away from the hips. Take a breath in. Exhale. We'll shift over into a modified side plank as we float the right arm to sky, stacking the left shoulder over the left fingertips. Right foot sweeps towards that side edge of our mat. And then we'll extend energy all the way up to sky as we take a breath in, and then maybe sweep that palm all the way over towards the front edge of our mat, above the crown of our head, pulling in opposite direction, right heel away from the right middle finger, really lengthening through the spine here and the side body on our inhale. On the exhale, tuck navel to spine and let the arm drop forward as you take a round through the spine. Inhale, float the fingertips high to sky as you start to circle the arms with breath. Playing with a variation of cat-cow in your side plank. Inhale, heart and arm flow up. Exhale, gaze shifts downward as the navel pulls in towards the spine. And we'll take one more rotation here in this direction, to float it nice up to stop at the top, and then open up that palm to the sky. Let the shoulder rotate open. Exhale, opposite circular direction. Explore what your shoulder has available for you for these few breaths as you curl the spine on your exhale. Open the chest, let the arm fall behind you on your inhale. And then again, we'll meet up top and a stop on our exhale, pulling our navel in towards our spine, aligning that right edge of our foot towards the side edge of our mat. We'll sweep up into a gate posture. So if you have any knee issues and you want an extra cushion underneath your left or your supportive knee, feel free to add it here. We'll take an inhale, arms reach high to sky, gaze with it. Exhale, hands move down through heart center. Let your thumbs rest at your heart as you let your elbows and your shoulders draw away from your ears. Crown of your head is lifting. Release the palms, float them by your hips. Inhale, arms sweep high to sky. Exhale, guide your right hand down your right thigh and near your calf, never putting any pressure on the knees. You glide sideways, taking a full expansive breath into the left side body. Maybe you'll use your hand here to gently rest here, or you can use the mat underneath your right palm or a block. Pull both ribs up and away from the hips as you exhale, sliding your side bend a little bit more fully. Taking a nice full inhale here. Exhale, glide back into gate posture, steady and strong. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, hands move through the heart centers. You let your gaze follow your fingertips, rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Stack your shoulders over your palms, engaging all 10 finger pads again. And then gently rock the shoulders over the fingertips, and then hips glide behind or near the heel. Gently finding a little exploration, a little bit of movement here for the inner thigh in this variation of gait. Feel free to tuck your back toe, your left toe, and then dropping those hips all the way on down towards your heel, maybe walking your palms a little bit forward. Just an exploration of where your body wants to move and where it feels good today. We'll shift back through neutral. Inhale, sweep arms high to sky. Exhale, find another side stretch on gate pose. Floating your left fingertips over towards your toes as you fill the torso with breath, opening the heart. Exhale, moving back through gate. Drawing the right knee underneath the right hip again. Feel free to use any kind of supports underneath one or both of your knees at this time. And we'll find a variation of camel. Arms sweeping high to sky on our inhale. Exhale, float the right arm down towards your right ankle as you take your gaze there. Inhale, both fingertips high to sky. Exhale, float your gaze towards your left ankle. Inhale, reaching high. Exhale, as you reach your gaze around and fingertips reach there, you're gently pressing your hips forward. Inhale, restack rib cage over hips, shoulders over hips. Exhale, take it for a switch on the left side. Gently pressing those thighs forward. Inhale. Lifting. We'll take one more each side with breath. Again, moving at your own pace. Just pulling your rib cage up and away from your hips, finding a little back bend here. And then inhale, meeting high on our inhale, and then cartwheeling our arms down to the opposite edge of our mat to find ourselves transitioning back through a tabletop, stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Roll the shoulders back, drop the belly, lift the gaze for cow pose. Exhale, navel to spine, press into your palms, cat pose. Letting your breath guide you, float that heart through the shoulders to on your inhale. Exhale, connecting navel to spine, round through the upper back, gazing inward. One more variation of cow and cat as you exhale, pressing the spine high. Press into the outer edges of your pinkies. Really press that mat away firmly as you ground down, gazing at the navel. Take a breath in here with the heart open behind you. And then exhale, flow back through a nice neutral tabletop, redefining the spine, pulling the crown away from the hips away from the rib cage. And then we'll shift inside, modified side plank, second side. This time, left arm sweeps high to sky, right shoulder stacks over right wrist, engaging all 5 finger pads on the right side. We'll take a loving breath in here as we lengthen and pull that left fingertip to sky, extending energy out to that left heel. Exhale, sweep the arm over that right side edge of your mat as you find a little length inside of the left side body. Nice full lengthening breaths in. Maybe you want to stand here in the stillness. Maybe you want to play with the breath, exhaling, dropping your fingertips and your gaze down, rounding through the spine, and then inhale, sweeping your gaze high to sky. Exhale, finding that shoulder rotation. Taking that variation of cat-cow with it. Heart opener on the inhale. Exhale, opening up to the back of the heart. And we'll meet up, fingertips at the top. Maybe we'll take an exhale here. And then inhale, drop that left palm behind your ear. Open up through the shoulder. Exhale, drop your arm and gaze down. Another full rotation, opposite direction. Letting your body just explore what is available and what feels good in this moment. And we'll meet right back in that wrist over wrist, shoulder over shoulder, stacked position on an inhale. Exhale, float ourselves up into gate, supporting that right knee if you need to with any kind of pillow or doubled up mat underneath the knee. Inhale, arms sweep high. Exhale, hands move through heart center as let your eyes shift closed, letting your thumb rest here. Take a moment to just gather in the strength and the support underneath you. The crown reaching away from your heart. And the stability in the pose. Releasing the palms. Inhale, arms sweep high to sky. Exhale, glide your heart over your left thigh as your left palm finds a stability either on the calf, a block, or the mat. Rolling open, letting that right elbow reach behind the right ear. And a side bend for the right body. Take a loving breath in. Pull both rib cage away from both hips. Exhale, taking the dive a little deeper, working at your own pace, listening to your body. Taking a nice full lengthening breath in here. And then exhale, sweeping back through neutral gate. Inhale, fingertips reach high to sky. Exhale, hands move through heart center. Let your gaze follow your fingertips as you roll down one vertebrae at a time to find your shoulders stacking over all 10 finger pads, pressing into the earth. And then a gentle rocking forward and back as you find the exploration on this side, deciding what does and doesn't feel good for you, hanging out in what does feel good, reminding yourself of that gentleness and kindness, that temperament you're offering yourself through the practice. Maybe you tuck your right toes and sink your hips all the way back, working your hips slowly towards your heel, walking yourself a little farther forward, only if that feels good. And then exhale, coming back through a nice neutral tabletop. Inhale, arms sweep high to sky. Exhale, finding another side bend and gate, sweeping those right fingertips all the way towards that left side edge of your mat. Pull that rib cage up and away. Exhale, coming back through neutral, and then draw the left knee in to stack underneath the hips, defining what works best for you, maybe a pillow or a doubled up mat under both of your knees as we find second variation of camel, reminding ourselves the first variation can be played throughout the entire time if that's more available to you. So as a reminder, on the modified version, we inhale, arm sweep high, inhale. Exhale, right palm sweeps towards the right ankle as you gently press the hips forward. Inhale, we come back through neutral. Exhale, we repeat the same thing, side and side. Or maybe sweep both hands down behind the low back, letting the thumb work its way around the hip and fingertips pointing down towards the mat. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze elbows together, and then gently with a little pressure of your fingertips, press the hips forward, and at the same time pull the rib cage up and away from your palms, taking a gentle back bend. Maybe you'll lift your gaze to sky, keeping those hips stacked over the knees, finding a little back bend here. Breathing in, breathing out, taking another loving breath in. Exhale, press those shoulders back up over the hips, unwind the spine, release the palms. Inhale, arms sweep high. Exhale, we cartwheel them to opposite side edge of our mat, coming down into a variation of table, coming for another round of cat-cow. Letting your inhales drop the belly, lift the gaze open through the front of the body. Letting your exhale connect navel to spine, opening through the back. Rounding your chin to your chest as you take your gaze inward. And inhale, letting your breath guide you. And then floating back through neutral, we'll take our knees as wide as the mat, take the toes together, drop the hips towards the heels, and then palm yourself forward for child's pose, surrendering your forearms, your fingertips, your forehead to the mat. Taking a full expansive breath in and out. Exhale, gently tucking the tailbone down towards your heels, finding a little length in the low back, and then breathing into that. As you send your breath into the low belly, expand the rib cage side and side. And then exhale, sink the heart a little bit more fully forward and down, coming into a settled child's pose. Reminding yourself it can be challenging but wonderful to give up on being perfect. But we can recognize just being and how perfect that feels. Just being present in this moment, on the mat, feeling your breath, maybe repeating a positive phrase for your intention, inhaling, I am worthy of self-love, self-care. Exhale, I offer myself tenderness and kindness. Feel free to move to that phrase or any other variation of the intention, a short phrase that works well for you. From here, we'll guide ourselves into tabletop, extending the right heel behind us, pulling the rib cage up and in, right towards reaching towards earth. Really lengthen on the inhale as you press the heel away. Exhale, point the toes, squeeze the right knee in towards your right elbow. Inhale, lift and lengthen it away, pressing the heel away. Exhale, squeeze knee to elbow, pointing through the toe. One more inhale, lengthening, pull, pull, pull. Exhale, squeeze the oblique as you draw that knee towards the elbow, and then start to plant your right foot on the outside edge of your right pinky, maybe on or off the mat here for a variation of lizard pose. Left knee and top of the foot are on the mat as we lead the heart forward and through, lifting through the crown of the head. Maybe we stay here, we listen to the body and honor what works. Maybe we start to walk ourselves on down to our elbows. And if that's available, you can drop your chin down to your chest and breathe into the upper back. Intentionally hug your right knee in towards your right rib cage and your right armpit. Pulling that in, not letting it fall away. Letting the left hip drop on down towards the earth. Take another loving inhale and exhale here. Inhale, shifting our gaze forward, planting the left palm at the center edge of our mat, keeping that right thigh hugging. Right arm twist high to sky for a twist. So as you breathe in, lengthen your right fingertips to sky, crown away from hip. Exhale, scoop that navel in, draw your right rib cage a little farther behind you, stacking shoulder over shoulder, wrist over wrist, gaze is reaching all the way up at the right thumb. Big, full lengthening breath in. Exhale, embrace your right palm around the thigh, around the right ankle, and then toe heel the right foot back towards the center edge of our mat, rolling the heart forward, press into the palms, finding Anjayanasana or low lunge here. Inhale, as you find your inner thighs squeezing, send your fingertips high to sky, balancing here. Tuck the navel in, stack the rib cage over the hips, lift them up gently as you take your gaze high, and then exhale, draw your elbows down in line with your shoulders for cactus. Fingertips spread wide. Roll those elbows maybe a little farther open, opening the heart. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you draw your elbows towards one another and then fingertips interlace behind the back, recognizing which thumb is on top. Inhale, roll the shoulders open, drop the knuckles towards the mat, lift the heart and lift the gaze. Exhale, release the fingertips, float yourself back through supported Anjayanasana. Inhale, restabilize. Exhale, shift the hips back for Ardha Hanumanasana, right toe to sky, lengthening through the right leg. Inhale, floating the heart forward. Exhale, scooping the core in, lengthening through the right leg, walking yourself backwards, gently squeezing that right hip back towards the back edge of our mat. Letting our breath send us in the direction, inhale for forward, edge of our mat. Exhale to gaze inward. Go ahead and meet up in Anjayanasana and then move away from traditional with the toe to sky to non-traditional. Let the toes connect to the mat as you reach your right hip all the way back, letting your hands support the transition, lengthen through the front of the leg, feel the stretch through the front of the shin here. Maybe use your left hand on top of your right toes as a loving support as you bow inward, embracing your right leg with love, breathing in and out. Shifting the gaze forward, walk the hands back through Anjayanasana. Plant both palms firmly, engaging through all 10 finger pads. Tuck the back toe under. Inhale. Exhale. Press the back knee off the mat. Squeeze the inner thighs. Stack the shoulders tall. Sweep arms for high lunge. Exhale. Soften those shoulders down, away from your ears. And with your right foot forward, keep your left fingertips reaching to high. Wrap your right hand around towards your left thigh for a variation of exalted warrior arms with a high lunge foot posture. Pull the rib cage away. Lift your gaze and chin to sky. On your next inhale, sweep right arm to meet left, keeping hips and shoulders square. And then we'll open up to star pose. Both toes facing the side edges of our mat, both side edges of our feet parallel with the front and back edge of our mat. Coming to Parasita Padottanasana, gently move yourself into bent knee. Pull the crown of the head away from your hips as you find a little length in the backs of the legs. Maybe you work your hands down towards the mat underneath your shoulders or around your ankles, finding any variation of the support that works for you. Trying to keep your feet as wide as comfortably available for you, while also feeling a little bit of lengthening and strengthening through the backs of the legs. A little bit of bend. Let the head feel heavy. And then walk your hands back up underneath the shoulders, lengthen through the spine, feel the length in the torso. Send the heels in towards one another as the toes reach towards the corner edges of our mat. Exhale, navel to spine, roll up one vertebrae at a time as we reach up, hands to sky. Exhale, palms come out in an open palm posture for goddess, as if we're cupping our hands to receive from the heavens. Go ahead and relax the shoulders down away from your ears, keeping the core pulled up and in as you gently squeeze the glutes, knees over the ankles. No need to overextend them. They're just supporting you here with a nice wide stance. Think about that strength and stability your body is offering you just in this moment. Powerfully strong on the mat, able to receive, able to give. Giving yourself the awareness of your strength. And we'll take a little bit of movement with breath here. Inhale, arms sweep high to sky. Exhale, round through the spine, sweep the arms down towards the mat, and then inhale, arms sweep high again. Exhale, gathering at the bottom of the mat. Inhale, lifting and lengthening up at the top. Letting your breath guide you as you soften the spine down on your exhale. And we'll all meet back in goddess pose. Floating the right foot parallel to the right side edge of the mat, bending the left knee, turning the left toe towards the side edge of the mat for warrior two. Extending energy out through the fingertips, lengthen through the torso, pull the crown of the head away, take your gaze over your left fingertips. Soften the shoulders down away from your ears. Engage the outer edges of your feet, rooting down in your strength here in this warrior. And then soften into it as you let your left forearm fall onto the left thigh. Right arm sweeps up and behind, lengthening from your right heel all the way through that right middle finger, finding space in that right side body, lengthening and breathing all the way through. Exhale, press back into your strong warrior two. Take a breath in. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down around your left side, tucking your back toe, knee under, letting the weight come onto the right toe, finding ourselves in low lunge left side. Exhale, scoop the navel to spine, pull the knee up to the chest, release the toe. Inhale, shoot it back for plank. Finding your shoulders stacked over your wrist. Exhale, navel to spine, send your hips high to sky for downward facing dog. And go ahead and start to walk the dog here. Rolling through the hips, waking up through the knees. Inhale, take the weight to the toes, lift the heels and the hips high, tilting your pelvis to the sky. Exhale, keep that little tilt and then pull gently the heels on down towards earth. Inhale, pressing the front edge of your mat away. Exhale, heart reaching toward your thighs, surrendering here with a shake of your head. Yes, I can be gentle. Exhale, no. Not allowing any judgments on the mat today. Inhale, float through neutral. Exhale, knees come wide, toes together. Hips shift to child's pose as we surrender on down here for a loving rest. A restorative respite pose. Connecting to your intention. Maybe visualizing a delicate flower such as a jasmine or orchid or other animal or plant from the universe that needs a little extra care, and envisioning yourself caring and nurturing for that plant and caring for yourself in the same way with caring thoughts. Next, we'll glide into our second side, coming to tabletop. Extending the left heel behind us, lengthening the left toe to earth, left heel reaching away from the rib cage. Pull the navel up and in, away from the crown of the head. Having a little bit of energy there. Inhaling. Exhale, tuck that left knee towards your left elbow, squeezing through the glutes, pointing through the toe. Inhale, lengthening it away. Exhale, taking the tuck and squeeze it in. Taking it for one more round with breath. This time on your exhale, really pulling the obliques in, planting that left foot outside edge of your left pinky, either on or off the mat. Finding yourself moving into lizard as your right knee and right top of the foot rest here. Maybe you'll use the support underneath your right knee. Feel free to do so. Lengthen through the palms as you reach the crown of the head away from your hips. Maybe you stay here, letting that right hip gently drop on down towards earth. Or maybe you start to surrender your elbows or your forearms down to the mat. Letting your chin soften and fall to your chest. Taking your time here to breathe and surrender. From here, we'll guide the right palm into the center edge of our mat as we scoop the navel in for a twist. Lift the left fingertips to sky, stacking shoulder over shoulder, wrist over wrist, hugging that left thigh into the left rib cage towards the left armpit, pressing into that right palm, lengthening the crown of our head away, holding it for a breath in. Exhale, lovingly wrap your left arm around that thigh and around the outside edge of your left foot as you use your hands to support the transition. Toe heel your left foot towards the center edge of your mat for Anjayanasana. Soft right knee and top of the foot as you roll the shoulders back, lift the heart proud and through. Squeezing the inner thighs as you stabilize, reaching the fingertips to sky on your inhale. Stack shoulder over rib cage over hip, hip over knee. And then exhale, drop those elbows down towards cactus. Energy through the fingertips. Roll the shoulders back. Maybe you stay here. Or maybe you start to squeeze your elbows in towards one another, reversing the grip if you gripped on the other side. Inhale, roll the shoulders open, knuckles reach behind you as you lift your heart and your chin and your gaze to sky on your inhale. And exhale, release the fingertips, flow over the thigh, over the knee, coming to supported Anjayanasana. Inhale, lifting the heart forward. Exhale, shift the weight back, lifting left toe to sky for traditional Ardha Hanumanasana, gazing inward, stretching and lengthening through the back of the left leg. Inhale, shifting the body forward. Exhale, floating yourself, letting your breath guide you forward and back. Gliding into your worthiness, gliding into the postures for self-care, connecting to your intention through your postures. We'll inhale, meet up at Anjayanasana. Exhale, keeping the left toe connected to the mat. We'll shift into non-traditional as we send that left hip back. Go ahead and squeeze that left glute towards the back edge of your mat, and maybe your right palm comes down to support the top of your foot or your top of your left toes. As you surrender down a little bit more completely, soften your elbows, your shoulders, your gaze. Coming back to your breath in and out. Inhale, we'll shift our gaze forward, tucking our back toe, finding low lunge. Exhale, squeeze inner thighs together, send that back knee off the mat, stack your shoulders over your hips. Inhale, arms sweep high to sky. Settle into this high lunge. Back heel is off the mat, back knee is facing the floor. Reaching our right fingertips high, let the left palm drop on down by our side, maybe letting it connect to the right thigh as you find a variation of Exalted Warrior with lunge pose. Legs on Exalted Warrior, arms. Let that right hip drop open as you pull the fingertips high to sky. Sthira Sukham, energy and strength in the pose, relaxing. Exhale, soften shoulders down away from ears. Inhale, both fingertips reach to sky. Exhale, open on up to star pose. Both toes face the side edge of our mat. Both the side edges of our feet are parallel with the front and back edge of our mat. And again, we can come to Parasita Tadasana, maybe widening the stance this time, doing what feels most comfortable for you, softening the knees, pulling the rib cage away from the hip, send the crown away from the tailbone, slowly lowering. Maybe just kind of settling in here. Maybe walking your hands down, palms underneath the shoulders. Maybe palms are reaching towards the ankles. Or maybe you can reach your crown of your head all the way on down to the mat. Working at your own pace today, there's no need to arrive at a destination. As you come to where is comfortable, maybe you can release your palms behind the side edge of your mat behind you, letting your palms face up, letting you settle it into a little bit more, and still keeping active through the legs, keeping your knees safe with a gentle bend. Let it all go. Maybe wiggle the head side and side, front and back. And then walk your palms back underneath your shoulders. Lengthen through the torso. Take the navel to spine. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. As we come on up, take the heels in towards one another, toes towards the corners of the mat for a turned out position, lifting and lengthening through the fingertips. Exhale, let the knees come down over the ankles for a bend. Scoop the navel and gently tuck the tailbone down towards your heels. Palms come out by our side in a cupped posture. Roll the shoulders back. Take the gaze out in front of you to a single point. Letting your gaze just kind of cloud as you steady yourself. into your own strength. Maybe you can even let your eyes shift close here to test your balance. Outer edges of your feet are pulling onto the mat, core is engaged, crown is lifting, shoulders and elbows drawing away from your ears. Big full breath in. Lift high to sky. Exhale, lengthen the left toe towards the side edge of your mat. As you bend the right knee, take the right toe towards that opposite side edge of your mat and extend out for warrior two. Shoulders are stacked over your hips. Bend in the right knee as the knee stays stacked over the ankle. Scoop the core in, scoop the rib cage in. Energy throughout both fingertips as your gaze drifts over your right middle finger. Squeeze through the glutes, finding a nice active stance here. Again, recognizing your own strength and stability in this warrior posture. On an exhale, fold the right forearm onto the right thigh, sweeping your left arm high for a modified side angle. Lengthen the left fingers away from the left side edge of your foot as you pull into your inhale. Exhale, softening your shoulders away from your ears. Lengthening with your breath. And then sweeping back through warrior two, settling into that awareness again, and letting the arms cartwheel over the right foot, turning your back toe under, back heel lift, scoop the core up and in as you plant those palms firmly on the earth, and then draw that knee to the chest with your core. Inhale, sweep it out to plank. Exhale, send the hips high for a downward facing dog. Again, you can do variations of play here, alternating knee and heel bends to walk the dog. Taking a nice full breath in through the nose. Exhale, blow some air through the cheeks. Maybe on your next inhale, you'll push energy into the toes, lifting the heels to the sky. And then on your exhale, slowly lowering them down. Keeping the length through the back of the legs as you gently press your chest towards your thighs, engaging through all 10 finger pads. Give yourself a yes here. Settling into the stillness, gazing beyond your shins. Find a drishti point or a single point beyond your nose. Staring off into that space. Imagining that gentle flower again coming into your view. That precious jasmine or orchid or other option that you chose to visualize earlier. And just the beauty and strength in its vulnerability, and the ease in which you can care for it when you give that attention. Keeping your energy and attention there for another breath. And then exhale, softening into a child's pose, letting your knees come wide, toes together, hips rounding towards your heels as you walk yourself forward. Softening the forehead and forearms and fingertips to the mat. Settling in. Finding stillness. Finding comfort here. Shifting the gaze forward, we'll glide the belly on down, stack the shoulders over the elbows, forearms firm to the earth for Sphinx pose. Pull the rib cage away from the hips and then soften the ankles towards the outer edge of your mat. Soften your thighs. Pull the crown of your head away. Give yourself a loving, full breath in, feeling from the base of your pelvis, up through the belly, into the rib cage, opening the heart, into the throat. Exhale, open mouth, sigh. Maybe staying here, or maybe walking your palms back underneath your shoulders to press into cobra pose, engaging through all 10 finger pads. Roll the shoulders back, press into it, keeping a little bend in the elbows as you hug your biceps into the rib cage. Press that mat away as you lengthen, pull the rib cage away from the hips, lengthening through the crown of the head, maybe taking your gaze and your chin to sky. Exhale, tucking your toes, drawing your navel up and in, send yourself back in for one more variation of down dog. Maybe hanging out in stillness, feeling what's good for you, or maybe taking a little bend of the hip to the earth. So as we bend the knees, dropping the right hip all the way down. Exhale, press those hips back up to sky. Inhale, softening the knees, letting the left hip drop down towards earth. Exhale, sending hips back up to sky. Moving a couple more times with breath at your own pace, at your own level of comfort with the twists. And then guiding yourself down to tabletop, sweeping the hips onto the mat. Sweep your heels towards the front edge of your mat as we find ourselves in seated staff pose, lifting and lengthening fingertips to sky. Exhale, navel pulls up and in as we lift the rib cage up and away and then over the thighs, extending energy until we find a little resistance with a straight spine. From here, we can hang out here, working our way straight spine forward, reaching towards our toes, or we can bring our palms down wherever that resistance hits and then start to fold over here, softening and rounding through the spine as you let your chin come to your chest and let the crown of your head work its way towards your shins, towards your knees, towards your thighs, wherever you are in your practice today, just honoring that and loving yourself for being here. Again, embracing your legs for arriving to the mat. You're giving them a little gratitude for all of the momentum they carry you with every day from place to place, all the movement they offer you and the freedom. Exhale, walk your hands up, stack your vertebrae over vertebrae, and then go ahead and cross your right ankle over your left thigh, just letting the right knee drop open and keeping a little flexion through the right foot to protect the right knee. Keeping this here, if that's what works best for you. Or gently drawing the left heel in for a variation of a figure four. Coming in for a little stretch here, rocking this side and side. And then releasing that left leg all the way down, extending the right heel to meet in seated forward fold. We'll take another lengthening breath in, lifting the torso up and away from your mat. Exhale, extend straight spine forward, reaching your fingertips where they connect. And again, choosing to either stay here, working your heart towards the toes, straight spine, or softening the palms down and folding over the thighs, taking a gaze inward. Taking a look inward to find gratitude for yourself, for arriving on the mat, showing a little kindness and tenderness toward yourself with a little thank you. And then as you roll up one vertebrae at a time, stack shoulders over hips and extend the left ankle over the right thigh, keeping flexion through the left foot for a variation of support for the knee. If you have any knee issues, feeling free to remove that flexion if you need, if you can. Using your hands as support, start to draw the right heel towards the hip, coming into that variation of a figure 4. And again, if it's available to you, you can gently rock this side and side. Finding comfort as you gently massage the fascia around the hips. And then coming back through neutral, extending your left and your right heel towards the corner edges of your mat and shake out any tension. Rock the ankles, rock the thighs, and slowly start to roll down one vertebrae at a time. Letting your head, neck, and shoulders come to rest. Using your hands to grip the side edge of your mat, pull the side edges of your mat away, feeling the shoulder blades glide underneath, and then releasing the side edge, releasing the palms. Either face up or face down, whichever is more comfortable for you. Settling into the stillness of your Shavasana. Make sure this feels good for you. If you have any kind of tenderness in your low back or have any issues here, you can always bring your knees up into tented knee posture as a variation of a support, or use a pillow or a blanket rolled up underneath your knees to support the low back. As we come to the stillness, here for Shavasana, harnessing the power of your practice as it resonates through each cell of your body, finding your jaw softening, your eyes relaxing, your tongue removing from the roof of your mouth. Connecting to the intention of surrounding yourself with images and people and music that honor being gentle with yourself. Finding ways to nurture the self the way you would nurture a delicate flower. And bringing that imagery to your mind as you find stillness on the mat. It's okay if your mind wanders. If it wanders to a place that's not serving you today, you can just bring yourself back to the image of the flower, or back to your breath, moving in and out. Feel free to remain here as long as you'd like, or start to bring your awareness back to the sound of my voice, back into the body as you bring a little wiggle to the fingertips and toes, rolling gently through the wrists and ankles, and then inhale, sweeping the arms up and away. Exhale, embracing the knees to the chest for a last loving hug to the self. Gently rocking this side and side as you transition to move to one side in a fetal position on your right or your left side. Say thank you to your body for moving through all the poses on and off the mat that you ask of it. And as you guide yourself up sideways into a comfortable seated position of your choice, thank yourself for honoring your body, mind, and spirit by coming to the mat today. Finding yourself moving into easy seat, seated cross-leg, or Vajrasana, toes together, heels gently parted to nestle a space for your hips as your knees stay in line. Maybe that feels good for you, either one of those seated postures, or a support underneath your hips, or any seated posture that does work for you. As we realign our spine over the shoulders, over the hips, feeling the crown lengthen tall, we'll take a loving breath in, sweeping our gaze and fingertips high. Exhale, taking a last gaze inward as we seal in our practice. And gathering it all up, we'll take another inhale, lifting and lengthening. Exhale, bringing it down through heart center. Letting the thumbs rest here. Reminding ourselves to take this practice with us wherever we go this week. This gentleness, this kindness that we can share, show ourselves, we can show others. We honor the light we see in each other. Namaste.